The Bersa Thunder M8X, let's check it out. Bersa firearms are made in Argentina, but its founders actually were engineers at Beretta. Started out in the 1950s, but it wasn't until 1995 when they first produced the Thunder 380 series. Now the Thunder series comes in 22 and I believe 32, but the 380 is the most popular here in the United States. One of the big things is it's so thin, it's a single stack pistol, holds 8 in one, and it's just a really great gun to shoot. But the price is really right. About half the price of its predecessor, the Beretta Model 70. But it also takes cues from the Walther PP and PPK series. But today we're really taking a look at the M8X. This is the Bersa Thunder 380, same designs. There have been some improvements over the years, but now it comes with a threaded barrel. And I want to thank Eagle Imports for sending the Bersa Thunder 380 M8X for this review. Bring on the thunder, baby. Now, one of the things about a handgun like this is because of the price and because it's made, down in South America, you feel like maybe this is not really up to quality. But Bersa's been around since the 1950s. In fact, this design itself has been around since 1995. And the Bersa Thunder 380 is Bersa's #1 selling handgun. Now, while I've done a number of Bersa Thunder reviews, this is actually a new model. It's the M8X, which means it has the threaded barrel. It's a 4.25-inch barrel compared to a 3.5-inch barrel that's on your standard 380 Thunders. And honestly, Bersa has made a number of improvements over their Thunder 380 design. Now, before we get started, we're going to go ahead and drop the magazine. It does have the magazine release up here, which is traditional. You drop your 8 or 7 round mag. It'll take either one. And these are made by Metgar, and you can get these mags for about 20 bucks. I mean, they're fairly reasonable. And we're going to check to make sure the gun is unloaded. Now, the one big thing about this handgun specifically is this barrel. And it is a threaded barrel, and you can take it. It does have a gasket. And honestly, the gasket goes right here. When we were messing with it earlier, we took the gasket off and we left it off. So I've got to replace that. But it does have the gasket to where when you tighten this down, it actually helps it to stay in place. And then of course you can put a suppressor on here or a compensator, and the gasket will help keep it into place as well. Now, one thing you'll notice with the hammer back and I pull the trigger, there's no action. It has a magazine disconnect, so we're going to have to insert the magazine, and then of course it will fire. With the first round, it's double single action, and that means with the first pull of the trigger, it's going to have a long trigger pull. Now, the one thing about this trigger pull is it's very smooth, but after subsequent shots, the hammer will be in the rear position, and this is much better for accuracy. And as far as reset, right there. So it's fairly quick. But this is a really safe gun to carry. Not only is it double action, but also if it is in the cock position and you bring your safety down, it's a decocker. Now I'm going to demonstrate how the decocker works. When you put your magazine in and you charge the handgun, you're going to hit this decocker. So disengage the safety. That first shot's double action, but then the subsequent shots are short. So when carrying this pistol and you hit that decocker, you got to make sure you train for that first double action longer pull and then those shorter subsequent shots. And there are also internal safeties in here, inertia, firing pin safety. And you'll notice right above the trigger comes with a small key, and you can actually take this and you can lock the trigger. So if you're going to store it, you can store it locked and you can't fire it. I'm not a real big fan of these kind of safeties because, it just added another element to it. But for those who really like that, this is the option. Has a matte blued finish, polymer grips, very nice, grippable. Has a nice beaver tail, of course that helps with slide bite. Your slide stop is right here, very positive, easy to engage. You have serrations, of course, and they're good, solid serrations, easy to bring back the slide. It does have a squared trigger guard, which a lot of the new designs are rounded off, but definitely has some serrations, has serrations here and here. I know Nothing Fancy took one of these out and talked about how shootable this handgun is. And really compared to a lot of the micro 380s that are out on the market, this is definitely a much better option. You can master the recoil a lot better. It just shoots more like a full-size handgun, and yet it's really thin and great for concealed carry. Has nice 3-dot sights, and these are windage adjustable. There's a little place here to adjust your windage, and then of course dovetailed front. And from what I understand, there are other options, aftermarket options for night sights. The magazine does stick out just a little bit, so it gives you a good full grip on the handgun. They do have a 15-in-1 model. It's the Thunder Plus, so if you want a little bit of a thicker handgun. In fact, I know on Facebook Live one time we had some people asking about a 380 ACP that had a high capacity, and so the Thunder 380 Plus is definitely one to look at. There are a ton of different models available as well, and that's one of the big things. There's different colors. There's the blue, there's a nickel, there's a high polished nickel, a two-tone I believe, and then they have the carry model. Now this one is rounded off. You can see everything is molded, low pro sights on here. I mean, it's just a very modular small handgun. Same design, just a little bit different in the design features. And so this is a great gun if you really want something that's snag free. Now, while the founders at Bersa had a lot of experience with Beretta, and we have a Beretta Model 70, and it is said that a lot of the design cues came from the Model 70, but this is a single action 380 pistol with an open slide design, barrel exposed, which is typical for Beretta. Here we have the closed slide design. It's double single action, much more like the Walther PP and PPK. And so there's a lot of design cues that came from the Walther. One of the things about the Bersa is it's a little bit of a thicker grip. It has a little more of a beaver tail, and it's just a more pleasant gun to shoot. And so really, for all things considered, plus this has the aluminum frame, which the Walther and the Beretta Model 70 both have steel frames, so they're somewhat heavier. And the price is about half or even less than either one of these two. Now let's check trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. Double action first, smooth. 6 pounds, 3.4 ounces. That is excellent for double action. 6 pounds, 2.7 ounces. 6 pound, 1.4 ounces. Single action, 3 pounds, 5.8 ounces, 3 pounds, 10.9 ounces, 3 pounds, 8.6 ounces. I want to thank Fiocchi for sponsoring the 380 ammunition, all made in the USA, and we really appreciate their sponsorship. We spent 2 days at the range. Robbie Wheaton and I went down with a suppressor, wanted to test it out, and it just functioned flawlessly. The great thing about 380 is it's already subsonic. And so, you know, just a very very quiet. And you could actually even use the sights. Even though these are not suppressor height sights, you're able to line up the sights with the suppressor. Then when we took it out without the suppressor to the range, it was just flawless. I mean, we shot about 500 rounds and just had a great day. Whether it was my daughter, who really liked the way it felt in her hand, my son Seth, I mean, we just had a big time shooting a lot of rounds through this pistol. And guys, I've had a lot of experience now with the Thunder series, and they're just really great little firearms. They're very reliable, they're very accurate, inherently because of the blowback design, and they're just great to shoot. I mean, it's a very thin but yet ergonomic handgun. Again, those micro 380s can be tough to master at the range, but that's one of the things about the Thunder 380. And a lot of ladies, especially, or new shooters, really enjoy the Thunder 380 because of its size, and yet the recoil's light, but also it has a number of different safeties that we talked about. And so really, it's just a great concealed carry option. Now, while we didn't have any issues with reliability, we did have some problems with the slide holding back, but only when Sarah Mac was shooting. So I'm not sure if it's just the way she was gripping the handgun, but as far as the reliability and feeding, we had zero problems. Now to disassemble the pistol, let's make sure the gun is unloaded, drop the magazine, check the chamber. First thing you need to do is to take off your thread protector. It's going to allow the slide to come over the barrel. Here's our takedown lever. Just push it forward, pull the slide back and lift up, and then it comes off. Now on your standard Bersa Thunders, it comes off a lot easier, but because the barrel's a little bit extended, it takes a little bit of finagling, there we go, to get it off the barrel. And then we pull off our recoil spring. It is the fixed barrel design, as you can see, and it's a blowback. And so it's just a very simple, old design, honestly. This has been around for a long time, but it's definitely effective. And typically, you don't have the blowback over about 380 caliber. Then we just go ahead and put our recoil spring back on, take our slide and put it over our barrel, and then we get it back over right here. Now sometimes because the takedown lever, you got to make sure it's still down, brings it forward, and the takedown lever goes into place. We're going to put our thread protector back on, insert our magazine to test for function, and we're good to go. But overall, the Bersa Thunder series just in itself is an excellent choice. If you go with the M8X with the threaded barrel, you know, that gives you a lot of options as well. So a lot of cool things. These run anywhere from about $260 to $300 according to where you can find them, and that's with the threaded barrel. So the Bersa Thunder 380 is already an excellent firearm, really good for those who are first-time shooters, recoil sensitive, female shooters. Gives you a little more in the hand, and yet you still have that 380, and with the self-defense rounds that are out right now, I mean, this is an excellent choice for concealed carry. And then with the addition of the threaded barrel on the M8X, this takes it up another notch. It's really like the Beretta 70 and the Walther PPK had a baby. And again, I want to thank Eagle Imports for sending the Bersa Thunder 380 M8X for this review. We couldn't do it without you. Rubber Dummies is one of the best training tools on the market, and you get a 10% discount using Suit00 when you click the link down in the description. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. The Beretta Thunder I have been reviewing. Now I've always kind of compared the Bersa to the Walther PP or PPQ. To the Walther PP or the PPQ. This is PPQ. And again, I want to thank Eagle Imports for sending the Beretta. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Let's live the Republic. Let's live. Long live the public.